Hello, everyone. My name is Ammaar Sheikh. I will be your committee director for John Cassius Cabinet 1, Octavian Caesar. This video is going to be a basic introduction of what you can expect from JCC, how to get started. Rohail, who is the committee director for John Cassius Cabinet 2, Mark Antony will also, and I will be making another video which will go into much more detail of what our expectations are, what we want from you, how to approach crises, etc., which saves us time for the introduction session ahead. But this one is going to be an introductory one to set you guys on the right path so that you can begin your preparation. So let's get to it. John Crisis Cabinet, although happening after some time, are basically two cabinets working in real time alongside each other. So we will cover an isolated time period for you that starts at 45 or 44 BC. What you need to some basic information about the cabinet about JCC is that right now all you should be concerned about is that Pompey Magnus has been defeated and Julius Caesar is in power. And the conventional way of how Rome used to operate, that is as a republic, with you having senators and tribunes and councils, with councils being the topmost political post and power being shared between them. Now there's just one council, and tribune is Mark Antony. Some things that you need to note is when you are starting to research, the first thing you should completely inherently understand is Rome in itself. So how Rome operates, the politics of Rome. So you have the Senate, what powers within the Senate are given out to senators, what powers does the tribune have, what powers do the councils have, what are the power sharing structures, because do note Rome and the constitution and the way Rome was set up was in a way where there was egalitarian share of powers, that no one individual could become too powerful. That is key to decoding and understanding in order to understand the time period we are starting in. The cabinet leaders themselves, Octavian and Antony, as of now, Antony is a tribune in the Senate, and Octavian is just a 17 or 8 is an 18-year-old boy whose uncle is Julius Caesar. You should not be concerned about what happens ahead, because that is one of the biggest blunders crisis delegates make, in the sense that once you read on what happens next, you will always be fixated on what your personality did or what events unfolded in the future, which takes away your creativity. So whenever we give you a crisis, and trust me, it is going to be extremely fast-paced, your mind is immediately going to snap and be like, all right, so this happened, maybe I can do this in a better way. We are the ones who are writing the personality powers. We know what each of you did or didn't do in reality in history. So obviously focus more on creative responses rather than just being fixated on history. The second thing when you're starting out is understanding the culture of Rome, traditions, the different gods. All of these play a very intrinsic. So understand that the time period we are taking is very tricky because yes, there are several pivotal shifts happening right now in Rome, but also know that Rome is a very culturally ingrained society. They have the empire in itself is extremely large, which brings me to my next point. You should also be aware of where existing wars are being fought, what were the previous wars that were fought on. I don't want to give out any information which would which would unfairly help you before the committee actually starts. So just being aware of the wars that were fought or the wars that are ongoing, where is our empire, where do we have our resources, where do we get our resources from, which spheres of power are extremely influential and directly related to us. There are also hints in the study guide that you can pick out on, which are also important. So that's another aspect of your research. The way the committee in itself will function is quite simple. You will have two cabinets, which are two different committees in itself. So basically two different crisis committees. But the way they will work out is you will have several crisis sessions, which will be separate, each to themselves. But you will also have some crisis sessions where where both cabinets could directly influence. I'll actually rephrase that. You might have some sessions where both cabinets could be together, Octavian and Antony meeting together or whatever. But you will also need to understand that in joint crisis cabinets, every move that you make has a direct consequence on the other cabinet, and vice versa. So understand that not only now every directive you pass or every plot you play or scheme you hatch is being is directly affecting your own committee's events, but they will now also affect the other committee's events as well, because now you have two crisis cabinets in the same event, which are also directly related to each other. Another thing you need to note is that in joint crisis cabinets, although yes, we are two separate committees, but communication and utilizing each other across committees is also possible. So let's take two individuals and let's take Pakistan versus India. You could conspire with the Indian Minister for Agriculture, even if you are the Pakistan Minister of War, right? So all these things can also happen. You will get the details for this in the rules of procedure document, which will be rolled out to you close to the conference. Do understand inherently the ROPs. Another thing that you can focus on is watching the show Roman itself, because that's basically that covers our time period itself. But that is one thing. Apart from that, do not research much about your personalities. Instead, focus on how you can utilize your personality's powers in accordance with all that's going on right now or has happened recently. That is another mistake that people make, that they just search up what they did in the future and then connect the dots and say maybe I can do this. No, you should look backwards, not forwards, because forward is for us to test you on. Backwards is more for you guys to assess and learn from. That is pretty much it. You will get a more detailed video with Rohail and me closer to the conference. Best of luck, and I can't wait to see you guys in January. Bye-bye.